This is Family in Focus with Dr. Wendy Schofer, episode number 111.
Welcome to Family in Focus with Dr. Wendy Schofer. I am the pediatrician and certified health and life coach who specializes in helping you parent without all the food and body drama. Let's get busy creating the life you want to share with your whole family.
All right, welcome back. It's wonderful to have you here. We're going to jump right into a real life scenario today. My love of chocolate, all things chocolate, especially dark chocolate. Throw some peanut butter, throw some caramel. Oh my gosh, all of it. And this is not just about making my mouth water right now, but I'm also going to share with you the step-by-step process to both understanding, habits and making change. So let's dive right in. So number one, let's first identify what the heck we're talking about. Okay. So when we're thinking that I've got a problem, I've got something that I want to change, I want you to just kind of say what it is and really focus in on saying it in about 1 to 2 sentences. So I would say my concern is I've found myself eating a whole lot of chocolate lately. Now, after that step, okay, as you just kind of get out, I actually want you to keep going. And while we were just focusing at first, we're actually going to expand a little bit more because while it sounds like that's the problem, and like I said, I found myself eating a whole lot of chocolate lately, now is your chance to expand upon it, to really describe it, and to really get into more of the specifics. So in my case, I've been buying peanut butter M&Ms again as a splurge, not on my shopping list, just kind of grabbing it. I'm like, oh, this might come in handy later on. And while I found that they are really handy for when I'm traveling, I really do enjoy a little, peanut butter, mind you, M&M. When I'm working at home, I just tend to eat them whenever I get hangry. And they can't show up on my desk without me stirring and rummaging for them. They're there, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And the other thing that I'm noticing as I'm just expanding a little bit more is that I also work a lot at my desk. I've been working so much more here recently, and it's really exhausting. I've just been focusing a lot, writing a lot, and I'm getting tired. And so after you do that, just bottom line it. What is the actual problem? It's also like, what is the perspective that I want to look at? What I'm really noticing is that I don't like the way I feel when I eat this much of sweets in general. It's actually not even about chocolate. It's just, eating all the sweets. I feel super full. And yet when I'm eating sweets, sweets always taste like more. I also feel slow and sluggish. And I even get tired more easily when I'm eating that. I just don't like the way that I feel. Okay. So it's just kind of like focusing, expanding, and then bottom lining it. Okay. Now we know what we're talking about. Now, I want you to take the second step, which is to imagine what it would be like to feel differently. Like what needs to change? Whew. Well, I imagine that if I were to feel differently, not liking the way that I feel with this, I want to feel strong, productive, and agile. Yeah. I want to be productive and also to, get away from my desk, which is not a feeling, but I notice that that's coming up along with this. So this step is about looking at the future. What is it that I want to see? What is it that I want to feel? And there's no one answer, just kind of getting it out there. What would it be like to feel differently? What needs to happen? What would that look like? Now, the third step is to just take a step back. Okay, just kind of like, all right, I'm going to take a step back from my desk. I'm going to take a step back from being in the middle of describing everything that I'm describing right now. And ask yourself, what are the patterns that you're noticing in what it is that you've just described? What's kind of like the big picture? What are you seeing with the patterns and how they connect? And I notice that this isn't just about chocolate at my desk. I'm noticing that I've been focusing on a lot more of computer-based tasks lately, writing and preparing for a research submission, actually doing research for the research submission, email management, all the things. And I'm getting really hyper-focused. I'm getting in the zone, getting things done, and then I crash into the sweets that are right here. I'm also noticing that there's a lot more of the sweets that have been coming into my house through, let's just call them alternative entry points, gifts that are left here by friends, the cookies that I couldn't bear to see tossed out at the end of a community event earlier this week. The captain conservation inside of me was shouting, "Save the cookies." Anyway, and so they came home. They come home with me. Okay, that wasn't what I would normally intend. So just noticing that pattern. Now, let's jump to the fourth step. Bring on the love and the compassion. So what that really looks like, what I start off with is two magical words. Of course. Of course this is happening. I notice how, I want to, like beat myself up and just say, no more sweets. You know better. You can do better. You know what the problem is. But that doesn't really get to the heart of what's going on. I know I'm doing the best I can amidst this, well, my long-term love of not throwing things out, thanks to my Pennsylvania Dutch heritage and, saving everything. So I've got a lot of practice there of holding on to things, and wasting food is a hard thing for me. The whole idea that leaving cookies would be wasting food, I know, I got my own work. I also have a love of maximizing. Oh, yes. It's my strength to maximize. I can make sure things fit like crazy. I can get things done. And here I see that the maximizing is having everything that I need at my desk, everything I could need. So I don't have to go very far. It's right here. But it also includes other things that I don't really, quote unquote, need within my reach, like chocolate. Yeah, it's right here. And I also have a love of being productive. Okay, these are all things that are working for me. Okay, they are things that have been working for me for years. And yet, I'm just noticing with love, compassion, this is what's actually coming up here. You know, that love of being productive, I can hear it in my head right now. Like in our family, we kind of joke around about how it's GSD time, getting stuff done time. That's just something that I thrive on, of course. And in each of the factors, I see things that are working for me, things that I love, and some things that also sometimes just aren't working. I notice the judgment in this inner drill sergeant that I have that's speaking, Captain Chauffeur, you know much better than to be doing this. You are a disgrace, and this will not be tolerated. Clear it all out. Clear it all out. Get it out of the house. And yet I know that that doesn't actually get to the heart of the issue. I mean, I'm human, and there are reasons why I've done this recently. So the whole step about bringing in love and compassion is to realize that there's a reason why things have been done the way that they've been done. So for me, I've been using my I've been super using, I should say, my focus network. Yes, that's a thing. So I'm really like using the focus. And then I come crashing back down to the relationship network. Okay, that's sometimes we call that the default mode network. And I will get so much more into this in another podcast episode. But when I do that, I use up all my focus and I come crashing over to feeling. I feel exhausted. I grab quickly for what will help me and what is readily available. And it just makes sense what I've been doing. I also notice that I've been diving into this work right away in the mornings when I'm not hungry. I don't tend to get hungry first thing in the morning, so I don't eat beforehand. But when my focus, period, that when that time is up, I notice I'm both tired and hungry. That is not a good combination for me. So a lot of that is coming out where it's just like with love, with compassion. What am I noticing? How does this make sense? And then with the fifth step, going to make a tiny little experiment, just something that's a crazy simple action. Just pick one. This is, perhaps the hard part, because if you're like me, you've potentially found a number of items that you could change, a number of different places to focus. But the question is, what's the smallest, easiest, I would even add most loving little experiment that you could try for yourself? To be honest, for me, it's actually not about changing anything with the sweets. It's not about the beliefs. I actually like my beliefs of not wasting. And it's not about the amount of work that I'm doing. I think the easiest thing for me to look at is to eat something before I start. And I think the challenge right now is to even get more clear. So okay, I notice, the little experiment to eat something before I start. Get really clear, really specific, so tangible that we know exactly what that looks like. So for me, I'm going to get an apple and I'm going to slice up that apple in the morning. And then I'm going to put on some of my favorite mixed nut butter and take it with me to my desk when I'm doing writing and research time. I'm going to take that with me. All right, you're up for step number 6. There you go. So it's about more love. So much love that's involved here. So remember, it's all a series of experiments. And we have to keep experimenting. I was just celebrating the way that I felt just a couple of weeks ago when I was eating so many good veggies. Everywhere I went, I was like, oh, these veggies are amazing. I feel amazing. And then the sweets kind of snuck back into my routine just over the past couple of weeks. That doesn't mean that I've failed. It means that I'm human. It means that there's cycles, things that kind of come and go. I get to look at those patterns. And we get to practice making the changes that work for us. And I'm going to add that work for us right now. I understand that my focus on work, on maximization, on not throwing a sweet away also works for me in long-standing ways. There's a reason why I do these things, because it's helped me out over the years. They've been reinforced. And so it makes sense that those things, those thoughts, those actions, that it all comes back on the repeat. But so does my love and knowing how amazing I feel when I'm taking care of myself in the way that I want. That's why we do that visualization of what it will be like when something changes. What is it that you're going towards that you know how amazing it will be? For me, that's where feeling strong and agile are a good reminder for me to keep going. It takes practice to bring that to life. All right. I want to know what your example is. I want you to, really take me through the journey that you've taken through these steps. I want to hear what you're discovering for yourself. So honestly, just drop me a line. Drop me a line on email. Come on over to the blog and put in the comments in the blog. So you can go to the website and get connected to the blog. And the other thing that you can do is when you're ready to dive in with like the facilitated journey through this, I can totally help. We can walk through this together. The next Family in Focus group program is about to start up, and I also work privately with clients who want to explore, understand, bring the health that they want to live in their own lives and bring that to their families. So go on over to the website. So it's going to be in the show notes, wendyschofermd.com. And then you will find the link to find my current program offerings. And then I will see you again next week. Mwah. So much love to you.
Are you a healthcare professional? The continuing educational experience for the Family in Focus with Wendy Schofer MD podcast is powered by CME-FI. Head to the show notes for the link where you can reflect and earn credits for this episode. To hear more about Family in Focus and the programs that I offer, go to wendyschofermd.com, that's SCHOFER, and you can sign up to get free weekly content, tips, and also be the first to know about all of my upcoming group and individual coaching programs. I'll see you there. Remember, while Wendy Schofer is a physician and talks about health and wellness for the whole family, she is not your physician. This podcast is not providing medical advice and does not replace the relationship that you have with your personal physician.